Hey, what's up, YouTube? And welcome back to the channel. Of course, I am the Prepper Dad. Now, that's so dramatic. I know so didn't need to do that. But I'm trying to stay happy and positive when I'm just gonna say that I don't want to say like I'm upset. I'm just done. I look at headlines, I see what's going on in the world, and I don't even know how to form a complete sentence. You know, there's a lot of people who use their YouTube channels, and then behind them they'll have a script or they'll read from it. I don't like to do that. I'm not a script reading guy. I like to fire from the hip, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. So I'm just gonna forewarn you with what I have written down on this piece of paper as far as notes to rely on, so I don't forget anything, don't miss anything. I don't know the words that's gonna come out of my mouth, meaning if you have any sensitive ears, or in fact if you are, you might just wanna skip to the next one. First of all, before you go, if you do, hit that subscribe button, but be sure to hit that like button because it's gonna be some good stuff. Who knows what I'm gonna say. But let's get into it. There's a lot of shit going on in this world. See, there it is. There's a lot of that going on in the world, and it is, we as a people, if you're here on this channel, there's a lot of reasons why we do what we do. But one of the reasons why I take care of my family in the prepping sort of manner, one of the reasons is because of the stuff that I'm going to talk about here. Now, we've all been through the last 2.5 years collectively, and we see that, okay? I'm just going to say that, listen, crime is up. You don't have to go very far outside of your own neighborhoods. And when I say neighborhoods, I'm talking about like big cities and whatnot. You know, you turn on your nightly news, if you guys still do that. Unfortunately, the only local news that I ever listen to is when I'm driving and I just don't feel like listening to any kind of music. I might be listening to a podcast, but if you listen to like local radio, they will say what's going on in the weather, but they always talk about so-and-so crime happened, or 2 people were murdered last night, or a robbing here. It's never the feel-good stories. And so that in itself, and then we see all the things that, on different parts of the country that they like to magnify. We, and I say we as a people, as a society, nobody feels safe anymore. I mean, we're always looking, and so, but I want to talk about that here in a little bit, because on what can just happen in a short amount of time, and what can happen recently that you guys should be up to knowing about certain activities. Again, that I know that was like very vague, but I'm going to talk about that here in a bit. But you know, the sexualization of children and how they think it's okay. It is not okay for schools to have books for children to learn and talk about oral sex. That should not be, you should not be okay with that. You should not be okay with that. That's just point number 2, because we see this wasn't a thing, many years ago, even a few years ago. It's just that slow fade. It is that frog in a boiling pot of water. The mandatory, school closures, business closures, all of those things that are happening, that happened gradually, but it seems like they happened all at once over the course of 2.5 years. All of those things, you listeners to this video, followers on this channel, need to get your heads out of the sand. Or if you are, and I know you are because you're smart, if you have a neighbor, if you have an uncle, if you have a sister, if you have a brother, or hell, even your own spouse, if they have their own heads up their butts, you need to pull it out and you need to sit them down and you need to have them either watch this video or get websites and get even news articles to say this is what's happening. It is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. And we as a people, we see it, like I don't want, we think of China as the most communist state. You can even throw in Russia in that talk. But we think of, communist China. We're not going to become like that. The problem is communism. I would venture to say, I would be daring to say that it's already here. When you can force a community to behave a certain way, when you can do this, it's no longer China who controls their people. It's our own frickin' government that's doing this to us right now. This is another step on what I look at and I say, okay, that's why I want to have my family taken care of, because so I don't have to rely on that group. I don't want to have anything to do with them because they're a bunch of lying bastards. Okay, they can give two shits about you, and they don't care about anybody but themselves. They want power, and how do they get that? They get that by people. And if I say you, I'm not necessarily talking about you, because again, you guys are awake. You guys are hip to what's going on, but that's just you in general, people. Okay, so I'm not talking to you because I like you, I love you. You're my friends. We're friends, right? Now, again, communism has no place in this country, and it is going to be up to us to stand up to say, I'm not going to comply to any of your bullshit rules. We've done this for 2.5 years, and they want to do it again. They want to do it again under the guise of you need to wear a mask. You need to watch out for this BA.5 variant. And I don't know what their play is, but let me just say this. I want to go back to feeling safe. The first thing I talked about, when we see all these things going on, and there was recently, in fact, a couple days ago, okay, you can look at today's date, and if you're watching this 5 years from now, just go to the internet. It was just a couple days ago, there was a shooting in a mall. It was a shooting, it wasn't a mass shooting. It could have been. However, there was a 22-year-old who basically he was carrying, and he took out the gunman. Now, unfortunately, not before he took out 2 of victims. Okay, another person was shot, I believe, in the leg, but is recovering as we speak. I don't know at the time of this video what the full story is on that. So this 22-year-old took out saved countless lives. I don't know how many, because he was legally carrying a sidearm, a firearm, and he is a hero. How many people are going to stand up when they see what's happening in front of them? Okay, this could be we heard about the pizza delivery guy who ran back into a burning house to save other people. That dude was there to make a pizza delivery. Those are heroes. Okay, I'm not saying that you wouldn't have done the same. I'm not saying that a hero needs to shoot or disarm somebody else causing harm. I'm not saying that, or even run into a burning building. I'm not saying that either. But we need to stand up against what we know is wrong. What we know is wrong. And the further this or people go along with the narrative of we're just going to do what we're told, they are going to keep pushing. Now, to go back, this is how I know that the media is full of shit. Okay, there was and I'll post links to both of these stories. One hailing they're telling the story, but saying that the 22-year-old was a hero. Then you have another mainstream media website that says, and I left my note just so I can read it word for word. It said, yes, he was carrying legally, but he broke the mall rules by carrying his firearm with him. Not a single damn word about the rifleman who actually committed crime, who actually committed murder. He's good. But the guy who was hailed as a hero, he's not such a hero because he broke the rules. I hope you understand and see what is going on. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. In fact, the people who are supporting this line of reasoning, they don't care about them either, because to them, they are useful idiots. Okay? Don't fall for that. Another thing that is supposed to be happening today, it was reported yesterday that President Biden, I say President Biden because I respect the office, so I will call him president. That's a different story for a different day, another topic, another argument for a different day, right? But he said he was reported to release executive orders on climate change. What did I write? He's supposed to be issuing today climate executive orders today. Now, I said this, I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But here's what I think. And I said this to my wife long ago, like almost at the start of this. You know, when we were asked or when we were forced to stay in our homes, I said, this is how you change in an instant on how people behave. I said that the next thing will be over climate change. Now, I don't know, I still lean to that. But they couldn't get us. I mean, everything else that they were trying to do, you see the resistance that people are starting to try, they're trying to do this again, and people are starting to realize that, and they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. There's certain states, there's certain countries, there's certain people that are going to do it. But I strongly suggest that the people of the United States, if they don't want to live like this, like what they're trying to do, don't go along, and I don't comply. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I still think that with everything that they tried, all the things in the news to try to divide us, and they're doing well on certain points, but I think that the next thing that they're going to do is something to do with climate change. I don't have ways to say how. I don't know how they're going to do it. Okay, but that's just my gut feeling, and it's been like that for a long time. Okay, so going back to what this channel is about is make sure you have ways to protect your family, whether that's food, whether that's water, whether that's security, whether that's getting right with the Lord. I don't know where you're at. I just know for me and my family, we are going to serve the Lord, but we're also going to be paying attention to what's going on. That's all I got, because I know that I'm going to have other videos where I just want to rant and I want to shout at the mountaintops of get your heads out of the sand, because I think there's enough channels that cover, what to have in your pantry, what to do here. But I think people just need to hear the realness of what the F is going on. Okay? Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll be sure, if they allow me to come back and make another video. We'll see you next time. Until then, be blessed.